Welcome back to another quick hitter with Q&A. Today we're going to break down the Boston versus LA game last night. Boston Celtics, number one team in the Eastern Conference, faced the LA Lakers, a number 9 seed without LeBron, without AD, and they got their ass kicked. How? I have no fucking idea, but it exposed the shit out of the Boston Celtics. You're the number one team in the Eastern Conference and you've sat there all year. You have a massive lead to 4.5 games on Milwaukee, 5 games on New York, and they're slipping. So everyone thinks the Boston Celtics are the number one contender out of the Eastern Conference just because, they're consistent. It's the same core, essentially. They added a few pieces in Drew Holiday, Kristaps Porzingis. But the one thing that yesterday kind of showed about this team and something they should be really worried about is they don't have that grit. They don't have that grind in them. They're not dogs, right? Under Ime Udoka, they were dogs. He brought something out of them that Brad Stevens couldn't bring out of them. That Joe Mazzulla is having trouble bringing out of them. They're playing like really young guys who don't really want it, who almost feel like it's entitled to them, right? They're nice. They get their stats. They win lots of games. But when the playoffs come and you need to grind out the win, you need to grind out the series, you will lose to a team like Miami, who are dogs, who, they might not have the best regular season, but they will kill you in the playoffs if they smell blood. And that seems to be the biggest issue with Boston. Like, their guys, just something about them doesn't scream dogs to me. Like, the best player on their team is Jason Tatum, who does show up in big moments. He did have 51 in Game 7 last year against Philly. But then, like, someone like Jaylen Brown, you're paying $300 million. He got 8 points last night. 8 fucking points. It's what? That doesn't make any sense. And it's not like you're playing against a very good defensive team. The Lakers are literally hit or miss. And that's with AD. They had no one playing yesterday. It was literally just AR, just D'Lo, Torian Prince. Like, you should be slapping this team. You should be blowing them out. But they almost expected to win. They almost thought it was a freebie. And that's when they got exposed for like the dogs they are not. So Boston, they have everything there. They have all the right pieces. It's just whether they have the will to actually want to win a championship. And that's what we're going to have to wait and see the rest of the season and into the playoffs. Now the Lakers have a whole other problem that's kind of similar in the sense that they just don't seem to care. They have this switch where they turn it on and they fucking snap and they go on these, not win streaks, but they beat big teams. They can beat the Boston Celtics. They can beat number one teams in the league, maybe like OKC, but then they'll lose to Detroit. They'll lose to the Raptors. They'll lose to just like garbage teams for no reason. And it's kind of shows like they just don't care and they can turn it on when they want. And that's become their biggest flaw, because in the in-season tournament, they cared. They wanted the money. They wanted to win the first ever in-season tournament. They wanted that recognition, and they did. They came out and they slapped teams, and they showed out like, this is the team that made the Western Conference Finals last year. But you're not going to win an NBA championship if you're just going to kind of turn it on and off when you feel like it, right? You need to have a full season, or at least half a season, of chemistry, of going through the motions together, knowing where everyone's going to be, kind of running through the different plays. Right now, they're just in complete disarray. Like, they're looking to trade D'Lo, looking to trade somebody to improve the team. But I don't know if that's the problem. The problem might just be like, you've now made it even worse for your role players, right? Because now they're all nervous about being traded in the next 2 weeks. They're kind of playing to show their own talent versus playing to win as a team in the game. So, like, LeBron and AD have played every game. There's no excuse you should be at 500 and ninth in the Western Conference. Like, when they play every game, you make the Western Conference Finals. You beat teams you're not supposed to beat, right? So I expected them to be like a top 3 seed, maybe top 5, because it's the West. Who knows? But they're just not coming through, and they're just kind of complaining, and they're just kind of waiting. And we're going to see this after the All-Star break, after the trade deadline passes. They're going to turn it into gear. They're going to do exactly what they did last year. They're going to do exactly what every LeBron team does every year, where, okay, now it's time to get serious. Now it's playoff mode. And that's going to be the Laker team. Will it be enough? I have no idea. We'll have to wait and see.